This episode is sponsored today by the book 10 Tips on How to Survive Your Parents' Divorce. This book was written by kids. It's for kids. It's a coloring book. When you have a tragedy of divorce and you have young children who do not know how to express themselves, this coloring book, 10 Tips on How to Survive Your Parents' Divorce, is the coloring book for them. Pick it up today at blendingthefamily.com or even on Amazon. 10 Tips on How to Survive Your Parents' Divorce. Again, written by kids, for kids. Welcome to another edition of Blending the Family, known as the podcast. I am your host, Tommy Maloney. No, Tommy, it's Friday. You normally have a guest on Friday. We don't want to listen to you. Yeah, another guest canceled on me. Well, they didn't really cancel. They never responded back. Speaking of back, I'm backing out of the driveway right now. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's 5:50 in the morning, 10 before 6, Mountain Standard Time. I'd love to give you the weather right now, but I'm driving. Don't know. All right. There you go for my radio day, my friends who get that radio voice joke. All right. Here we go. You, my friend. I'm both excited and nervous about making this announcement. And if you follow us on the Instagram, posted on my story about a major announcement. And you are going to hear it first. Okay, you're going to hear it first. Because I will announce it after this podcast, if I can speak the English, I will announce it after the podcast this episode is launched. I think it's episode 81, I believe. Wow, getting close to 100. I've been thinking about episode 100. I want to do something really special. I want to do like a live event. Maybe I'll still do a live event. And sorry. Trying to turn. I don't know if I've listened to every once in a while when I edit. Every once in a while when I edit, the driving while podcasting, I can hear the turn signal, and I hope you can feel what it's like to be in the car with me. You're the passenger. You're in the front seat with me. How's that? You're not. This isn't like one of those ride-sharing things. You're in the front seat with me. Well, hold on. I take that back. Whenever I've used ride-sharing, I normally get in the front seat. Well, in the passenger seat. And once. One driver said, no, getting back. I'm like, okay. Anyway. All right, here's the major announcement. Let's just get to that fact, okay? Let me grab some coffee first. Make sure I'm not all tangled up with microphone and charging wire. As I'm sitting at the stoplight anyway. We need a coffee sponsor. That's what we really need. It's a coffee sponsor. No, I mean, I guess it would have to be a national one. But anyway. All right. In my goal for 2018, I posted this picture a while back, and it'll be in the show notes. But my goal for 2018 is to publish this third book. What? You've written books? Yes, I have. And if you're new to this podcast, thank you for listening. I am a two-time published author. Even our kids are published authors. Please purchase their book, 10 Tips on How to Survive Your Parents' Divorce, because that money will go to their college fund. Once we recoup the money for the making of the book first, but the money will go to the college fund. This third book is called My Dad's Advice at 5:04 a.m., which was real advice, unique, unusual. Dad, I know you're listening. I love you. I love you, Dad. You know the advice you gave me. And I took that advice and somewhat re-engineered it. I love saying that. I mean, that's such a, what do you call it? One of those, somebody's at the bowling alley already? Wow. Sorry, squirrel. Anyway, so I took this advice and I somewhat did the reverse of it, but because of the advice is because why I did it. And honestly, because it was so unusual and wacky that it really inspired me to be a good dad. I'm not, I would like to say I'm a great dad. I'm not there yet. You're probably a great dad. You're probably a great mom, great uncle, a great mentor. I don't think I'm a great dad yet. I think there's a lot of things I still have to work on. The biggest thing, ironically, was last night, the wife and I went to another session, we started another class, there's the word, another class of, and again, I don't get any money for talking about it, just want to throw that out there, but I just find it so useful, is Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. They started a new class at church, and we're going through it again, and I'm telling you, I'm not lying when I say this. When Ann and I went through it the first time, it saved our marriage. I'm telling you, it saved our marriage. All right. So the book, My Dad's Advice at 5:04 a.m. My goal is to get it published by the end of this year, and I think I've keep mentioning that in other forms of communication and content. I keep pushing it, the dates out or the year out, but this is it. And here's why I'm nervous and excited at the same time. And if you've ever seen the TED Talk from Amanda Palmer, put that in the show notes too. And I know I've talked a lot about that TED Talk because it really taught me on it's okay to ask for help, especially around, I guess, around business type things. So, for example, Amanda talks about how she put her music on Kickstarter and essentially just said, here's my free music, and people paid her, money to listen to her music, and it was, different amounts. There is a platform that I will be using to launch the book to help pay for the editing, and that's the biggest thing. When you write a book, you really need a really good editor, and they are their weight in gold. They really are. Okay. Crowdfunding. That was the word I was looking for. So crowdfunding is how I am going to ask for your help for this, and I'm thinking anywhere between $6,000 and $7,000 I'm going to need, because here's the deal with the book: it's going to be more than just the book. We're going to do obviously physical of the book, ebook. I'm also wanting to use part of that money to do an audio book also. So there's a whole I don't know, business model, I guess, around the launching of the book. Get ready. I'm going through that construction zone, and this is where it's like driving in a up a hill. Gosh, I can't wait. Hopefully they get done with this road this year. Oh, stay green. That light ahead of me. Hopefully it stays green. Please stay green. Please. Yes, it stayed green for us. Yes. All right. So, crowdsourcing. The name of the platform I'm going to be using is, and I'll put this in the show notes, Publicizer. And the story about that was they reached out to me. A gentleman named Lee had emailed me and said he had watched my TEDx talk and said, have you thought about making a book out of it? And I'm so dumb. I'm like, no. Why would I want to produce a book and make money and eventually use that money to help someone else? Why would I do something dumb like that? Yeah, I didn't even think about it. And once Lee put that thought in my head, I'm like, all right, let's make it happen. And oh my gosh, this is, I don't know. I don't know if this advice is going to help you or not, but I know I've talked to friends of mine and other people about writing books. And so I get this email, hey, have you thought about writing a book about this? I'm like, no, and you ought to do it, and here's how our company works, and it's crowdsourcing, and it's really cool. I'm like, all right. So I put together the book proposal for the book. If you've seen, not the Instagram logo, that's done by my buddy Johnny Nomad, a.k.a. Johnny's Corner. Check him out on Instagram, Johnny's Corner. Check out his podcast, too. The Instagram logo Johnny created, and I thought it was really cool. But the logo for our business was created by a gentleman named Chris Collins. And I had Chris design the book cover. And I loved it. I think it's a great book cover. It's unique. It's different. And I started the process of putting the book proposal together. And so the way it works is you put in, for example, the outline of the book and what the book is going to be about, who your target audience is, how you're marketing, what's your marketing plan, and all that. And quite honestly, I was winging it because I had no book written yet. So I put this proposal together. We got ready to launch it, and I can't remember what the original goal was. I think it was like $4,000, I think. I can't remember. But launched it, and within 48 hours had zero bids. And let me also talk about this. So part of crowdsourcing is you put these like bonus gifts together for people. So for example, if you have something unique and different that you want me to do, let me know. Tommy@blendingthefamily.com, Tommy@blendingthefamily.com. But for example, some of the bonuses I already have for this new proposal is, you buy 2 books, and then I'll at the end of the book acknowledge you that you help fund the book. Okay. And if you do that, then you also get a copy of the ebook, and there's also a couple of the bonuses that I've already put in for this new proposal that I'll give you for free 30 minutes one-on-one coaching. There's another one where I'll have you come on this podcast and we'll talk. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Maybe it's about life. Maybe it's about blended families. I don't know. But I think that's a cool incentive. Get to be on a podcast. And so that's what I have. I have these incentives or bonuses that hopefully will generate the money. And then the money, like I say, is going to be used for the editing process, and it's going to be used to put together the audiobook or the time in the studio for the audiobook, and have to also produce physical copies of the book. And so that's how this crowdsourcing works. Is I am asking for your help. And so when originally I launched the book the first time, and granted, I had no book built at that time. I hadn't written anything yet. Now this book is 80% complete, and I feel a lot more confident this time. And like I said, I launched it 48 hours, had zero donations, I guess you want to call it, and I panicked. And so I emailed Lee. I said, "You got to take it down. You got to take it down. This is embarrassing." I felt my integrity was at stake because I didn't have a product. I felt like a fake. And if you go to this website, you'll see that there are other authors that were in the same situation where they need the money to get, the biggest chunk is the editing process, and they didn't have the physical book yet. But for me, I felt like just a fake, that I didn't have a book and people were going to give me money, and again, watching Amanda Palmer talk about it's okay to ask for help. And that's where I ran into this roadblock of I didn't feel comfortable asking for help for a monetary value. But this time I feel a lot more comfortable, and because again now I actually have written most of this book. I know the impact this book is going to have on so many people, okay? On so many people. Just like, I've read your comments, how this podcast has influenced you and helped you. So my dad's advice at 5:04 a.m., I am relaunching on Publicizer the book campaign, and I need your help. I'm asking for your help. So this is the preliminary asking. Please keep listening to the podcast, and also check out the blendingfamily.com website for more information. I'll probably put it in a blog post. I'll post it on Instagram, the Facebook, the LinkedIn. I'll put all those in the show notes. How you can get a hold of me. And I need your help. I really want your help on this. How cool is it going to be for you that you do one of these bonuses where I am going to put your name in a book? You're going to be a contributor to a book. How cool is that? You can brag about that. Yeah, you know that famous speaker, author, Tommy Maloney? Yeah, I helped him launch that third book. Yeah, who's me? I helped him. Yeah. And I'm going to be so appreciative. I'm already thanking. Thank you. Thank you for getting ready to help support me. Thank you. I mean, like I said, I've got these bonuses, and what what bonus? How's this? Well, you give me an idea for a bonus, and if I use it, I will send you 2 copies of the book, autographed, put you in the book, and what the heck? Come on the podcast. How's that? 2 free autographed books. Come on the podcast for you coming up with a different idea of a bonus. Like I said, if one of them is, I think it was like $20, you get the ebook. I think 50 was 2 books autographed, 1 ebook mentioned in the book. So there's different amounts. So when you respond to me, I need to know how much the donation would be, the bonus. I mean, I even have one for, I want to say $1,000, where I come to your event, I speak at your event, and I give you, oh gosh, I can't remember now how many books. I give you a bunch of books for your event, okay? Things like that, all right? My Dad's Advice, 5:04 a.m. Let's talk about what the book is about. All right, great question. So what is the book about? Well, if you've seen the TEDx talk, I talk about, at first I talk about how I didn't want to be a dad because I watched my parents' divorce dissolve right in front of my eyes. And, you know, life happens. You get married, you have babies, and again, life happens where this marriage is just not going to work. And the thing is, 5:04 a.m. represents when my son Connor was born. And the backstory on that was so Connor's born. A couple hours later, after things settled down, I start making phone calls, call the moms. Unfortunately, my former, as even people at work tell me, the former's dad had passed away when she was very young. So it was sad. Killed by a drunk driver. So I call my dad and tell my dad, hey, you're a grandfather now, congratulations. And that's where he proceeds to give me his unique advice on fatherhood. And I laugh at it now. I mean, because it was I don't know how to describe it, Dad. Maybe you can describe it sometime, because so for the listeners, I keep meaning to get my dad on this podcast, and I don't know which way it's gonna go. So I'm more breaks. Sorry, I don't know who's more nervous about coming on the podcast, him or me. So anyway, so Dad gives me some fatherly advice, and like I said earlier, I took that advice and changed it up a bit. I also talk about in the book about being a stay-at-home dad. There was a time where I was part of, I don't even know how to describe it. A friend of mine named Chris Eishen, who's in the book, would talk about, or I talk about how he created this video show on YouTube called the Modern Dad Council, where there was anywhere from 3 to 5 of us dads talking about how to help each other out, how to help other fathers out, what's going on in the world of parenting. and we would talk about it. And it was fun. It was great. I think we were cutting edge. Unfortunately, we didn't have a marketing plan to really get that content out to the masses. But, you know, for us, and occasionally Chris let me host it. And I don't know, I just felt that at the time we were making a change in the universe, putting a little dent in the universe. So I mentioned in the book the guys that were part of the Modern Dad Council to show moms that there are truly some great dads out there. And again, I still don't feel I'm one of them, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Talk about that in the book, and I also talk about that was part of the TEDx talk, was how, and this is where, so who did I write this book for? Well, I wrote this book in the avatar's name, so I mentally had a picture of somebody I know who is a mom, a divorced mom, who has a okay relationship with her former. She has 2 daughters, and that's who I pictured this book for, to somewhat promote positive fatherhood, but at the same time to let other moms know that yes, and this is where in the TEDx talk I talk about, I am not a perfect former spouse myself. I'm an idiot. I've made several mistakes with my former. I mean, there were times when we were going through our divorce and I'd be on the phone just yelling at her, telling her how much I hate her for breaking up our family. And I made, again, major mistakes, even in the co-parenting. I'm not perfect. And I've written about this where when the former and I went to court because at the time she wanted to move out of state, and we had to go to court. I had to fight that. And this is, in the big picture, this is where I really wish I discovered Dave Ramsey earlier, because of having to hire a lawyer, I maxed out my credit card, had to ask for help from family, had to ask, Ann and I weren't married at the time yet. I think we were engaged, and had to ask her help financially, to pay the lawyer. But the point there was that I've made many mistakes, and life is not easy, okay? But I wrote this book to show other ladies that there are truly great dads out there. And unfortunately, there's some crappy dads, but it's a two-way street. There's some really great moms out there, and there's some really crappy moms out there too. I mean, I know at least 2 of my friends whose former, they essentially just packed up and left. Didn't want to be a mom anymore, just left. And I don't understand when dads do it. I don't understand when moms do it. I think that's, stupid. That's all I can think of. Or as my friend Jeff Pye would say, stupid. In there. All right. So in the TEDx talk, I talk about an ask from the ladies in the audience to say, please go out and find, and it doesn't have to be your husband, but find a dad and let them know they are doing a great job as a parent, as a dad. It's not always about And I am not mechanically inclined. I've talked about where my wife Ann is very mechanically inclined. I am not. Occasionally I am IT support in our house. But it's not about, fixing things around the house, essentially. It's about, being a dad present. And what I mean by that is playing with the kids. It doesn't matter. You just came off a business trip, an 18-hour flight, let's say, and the kids miss you, and all you're thinking is, I just want to go to bed. No, spend quality time with your kids. That's a great dad, in my opinion, when they do that. When you're taking kids to multiple events on a single Saturday, for example. Those types of things where dads want to be recognized. Dads want to be told that, hey, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for helping run carpool today. Okay, versus, hey, thanks for taking the garbage out. That's okay. We want to hear how we are doing as a dad, as a parent, as a man, okay? And I know you're going, but you just talked about the garbage. I said, there's, I don't know, maybe it's more than just the garbage. Maybe it's, thank you for, understand that you're not happy, working that job, but thank you for supporting our family. Maybe things like that. And there are times where I'm learning this lesson now. I need to do that to Ann as well. I need to, even though right now as she told me, she's finally in the perfect job that she loves. And God bless her. I mean, I hope you find that too. I hope you're, I digress here, but I hope you find a job that you just love and you enjoy getting up to, and but also making sure that you're spending quality time with your family. So at TEDx Talk, I asked ladies to just support their fellow man, their fellow dads, and to letting them know the positives. I'll never forget, after the talk, a couple ladies came up to me, and one said, I am going to tell my former spouse that he is a great dad. And yes, he's a jerk, but he's still a great dad. And I'm like, that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Ooh, hold on, need a little coffee. Oh, coffee good. Coffee, my friend. All right. But overall, I'm super excited about my dad's advice at 5:04 a.m. I'm excited about the book cover. I don't know what we're doing for the back cover yet. I do have, and that's where the money is going to, is I have interviewed and met with a self-publishing coach. Her name is Polly. And if you need that information, if you want to self-publish your book, she's got a great business model. And she's the one that's going to help me just skyrocket this book. And I hope that if you want to write your own book, let me know and I can help you get connected with Polly and in that way, because I've learned in my older age that it's, like I said, by watching Amanda Palmer's video, it's okay to ask for help. You can't do everything on your own. And I know there's several, let's say, multi-millionaires or billionaires who've talked about, they never had a mentor, they did it all on their own. I'm calling BS. I'm sure they talked to other people. I'm sure they asked for help. I'm sure, someone, not directly, but maybe indirectly mentored them. We can't do everything on our own. You know, one of the previous guests on this podcast, I thought he put it very eloquently, and that was Michael Laidler, where he talked about how you need, for example, your own 12 apostles. You need help. You know, not to say you're at the level of Jesus. You know, the only time I can walk on water if it's, you know, frozen, playing hockey. But we all need help, and this is me asking for your help as well. Okay? So get ready. We are launching the book, My Dad's Advice at 5:04 a.m. This is one of those goals I have to cross off for 2018. I'm tired of, in my mind, being a failure of, again, you know, even at the point where I had, you know, 10% or 30% or 50% or 75% of the book written, it has to get done. And, you know, we're only on this planet one time. And if you've ever heard me talk about, I think it was the podcast episode talking about writing your own script, you know, one of the things I've done in the past with coaching clients is get a sheet of notebook paper. On one side, write your average daily schedule. You know, what time you get up, what time you have breakfast, what time you leave for work, what time you have lunch, what time you leave for work or to go home, what time you get home. And then on the flip side of that paper, write the schedule you want. Write the schedule you want to create to have a more successful, happier life. And for me, it's getting up early, it's writing, it's doing a podcast every single day. So that means having guests, more guests on this podcast. I feel that they bring more value than I can. The more the merrier I can get on this podcast will benefit you in the long run. You know, and helping others. So bringing my coaching practice back to full force. You know, those are things I want to do on a daily basis. What is it you want to do on a daily basis? If you're happy at your job, but you're looking for, you know, for example, other ways to produce income, you know, you can write a book. You can write an ebook. It doesn't take much other than producing a Word document and uploading it to Amazon Kindle, and they have covers already on Kindle for you. You don't have to spend any money on designing a book cover. The book, my Kindle book, Why Not You, Why Not Me, I just used one of theirs, and I just put the title in there, and there you go. Simple little ebook. And quite honestly, I couldn't tell you if I've sold any of those books, but that's okay. That is okay. But my point here is, I need your support, just like you've been supporting this podcast. I need your support on spreading the word once we officially... thanks for cutting me off, dude. Sorry. I need your support once the book launch happens. And please tell your friends, tell your family. And like I said, there's some bonuses in there that you'll be like, oh, this would be cool. He's going to put my name in a book? Oh. And you can tell your great-grandchildren, yep, that's me. I supported this guy. Yeah. You know, maybe I'll do another contest. Maybe I'll think of a contest of, you buy so many books. Well, I think I have that. Never mind. Scratch that. I think I already mentioned that. I'll have to go back and look. Maybe I didn't. Anyway, maybe mention you on the podcast. Or maybe I'll do, sprinkle out names during a podcast episode of people that supported the book launch. So there we go. My Dad's Advice at 5:04 a.m. Really written for divorced single moms who just might have a bad taste of dads in their lives. And again, my point is how I've taken my dad's advice and use that to be a good dad. Just that's all I ask in life, is that I look in the mirror every day. Was I a good dad today? Was I a good husband today? Those are the little things in life that mean right now more to me than was I a good employee. Quite honestly, I don't care right now if I'm a good employee or not. I know that's harsh, but we'll save that for another podcast down the road. All right. Before I leave, please, however you get this podcast, please leave a rating and review. Please. I'm always curious. Are you listening in the car? Because I know, I know you can get iTunes in the car, and Stitcher Radio in the car, iHeartRadio in the car. I think that's going to be one of the new. We're going to hopefully the next couple weeks. They're called the opening and ending of the podcast. So you hear my voice guy. We're going to have some new ones coming out. And I think one of those we'll be talking about listening in the car or podcasting. Well, obviously podcasting in the car. Duh. Anyway, so again, please leave comments on however you get this podcast, Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher Radio. You can always leave comments on the podcast website, on our Libsyn, iHeartRadio. You can leave comments. So please, those are very important as far as looking at getting sponsorship, because they want to see not only our numbers as far as downloads, which are every month, thanks to you. My gosh, if I could pay you, I would, but I can't. But the point here is downloads have been increasing every single month, but ratings and reviews also help to get sponsorship for this program. Thank you for listening to this podcast known as Blending Family. I am your host, Tommy Maloney. You, I hope, will have a great... Oops, hold on. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing, caring. I am out of here.